All right, what's up, everybody? So we are, 4 games into the season 3.2. We got roughly 3 games left, so it's a 7-game season. And so I just wanted to get halfway and then do an update of kind of what the standings looked like, what some of the statistics looked like. Right now, in first place is the Washington Red Skulls, which is a orc team by Mike Taylor. He has 3 wins and 1 loss. He has got a +5 net touchdown, and he's caused 14 casualties. His team value is quite a bit higher than everybody else's at this point. He's got about anywhere from about 120 to almost a 300-400 team value difference compared to everybody else in the league, and he was one of the returning teams to come back from the canceled season 3 as well, and so he was doing really well in that before this season came on. Second is the Coldor Rockhounds, which is Mark Crouch's team. He is a new team to join this. He wasn't in the previous one, and he's currently got 3 wins and a loss, and he is at 1390 team value. He's got a +5 net touchdown as well, but he's only caused 7 casualties. The Roanoke Renegades, which is a Chaos Pack team by Bob Haley, has 2 wins, a loss, and a draw. He's got a +2 net, 8 casualties caused, and sitting at 1350. The Northumbrian Night Stalkers, which is a Dark Elf team by Tom Whiter, has 5 points right now. 2 casualties caused, so very little casualties, and he is 1 win, 1 loss, and 2 draws with a +0 net. The Krognook Bullfrogs is my Slam team, currently at 1340 team value. I've caused 5 casualties, 1 win, 1 loss, 2 draws. I got a -2 net there. The Toralith's Phoenixes, which is Doug Phillips' High Elf team, is at 1430 team value. Only 1 casualty caused so far through 4 games. And it's 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 draw with a -2 net. The Blackwater Station Stegodon Stampeders is Eric Pidcock's Lizardmen, which are at 1210 team value. And currently have no wins, 1 loss, but 3 draws, and at a -2 team value. And last is the Defilers of Doom, which is a Nurgle team by Travis Pierce, and he is at 1190 team value, so he hasn't been able to skill up quite as quick as some of the other teams have. And he is sitting at no wins, 3 losses, and a draw. And he's got a -6 net right now. So I guess I want to go into some of the statistics of each of the teams, and then I'll kind of go into the statistics of specific players. So this is probably hard to see, so I'll zoom in a little bit. Like I said, the Red Skulls have 3 wins and a loss. I just want to talk about what teams have the most touchdowns, and it really does pretty much follow the current rankings. Essentially, the Red Skulls are averaging about 2 touchdowns a game. The Rockhounds are averaging 1.75 a game, 1.5 for the Renegades, and about 1.25 for the Night Stalkers and the Bullfrogs. 1 touchdown a game for the Phoenixes, about 0.75 touchdowns per game for the Stampeders, and only 0.25 touchdowns per game for the Defilers of Doom. So the team with the most completions right now, with 8, is the Toralith's Phoenixes, who have 8 total completions, which is double the next team completions, which is the Red Skulls with 4. There haven't been any interceptions so far this season. Like I said, with the casualties, the Red Skulls have almost a good amount more than everybody else with 14. The Chaos Pact and the Lizardmen both have 8, and the Rockhounds have 7 right now. The Red Skulls have caused 10 badly hurts compared to 5 being the next one. Significant injuries. There is 3 teams that have each caused 3 significant injuries, which are the Red Skulls, the Rockhounds, and the Renegades. And there have been three player deaths this year, and that's one for each of the Red Skulls, the Stampeders, and the Defilers of Doom. So, total casualty differential here. The Red Skulls are at a plus 12, the Rockhounds at a plus 8, Stampeders at a plus 7, and everyone else is a negative, including the Bullfrogs and the Night Stalkers there at the bottom with a negative 8 and negative 11 net casualty. ELO rankings range anywhere from 162.96 all the way up to 239.37. So there's the team statistics. So for the players, right now the most expensive valuable player in the entire league is the Beast of Nurgle for the Defilers of Doom. His name is Natty. He is worth 190k. He currently has Stand Firm and Block as his added skills. He's had 1 casualty caused and gotten 2 MVPs. The next most valuable teams is Shithammer, which is a Minotaur for the Chaos Pact, and Sassy Assy, which is a Chaos Ogre for the Chaos Pact. And then the next non-big guy, which is the most valuable, is Lollyhops, which is a Slaying Catcher at 170k. Lollyhops has had some pretty good games, but is a plus movement, plus agility, and dodge Slaying Catcher with 4 completions, 2 touchdowns, and 1 MVP so far. Several Battle Crusher for the Night Stalkers is also at 170k. Several's a Blitzer with plus strength, block, and dodge. Has 2 touchdowns and a casualty caused. And then the last couple is Little Pity Scent, which is the Croxagore for the Lizardmen. Pity Scent has block. And the last one is Tongue Lasha, which is the Croxagore for the Slan at 170k, which is another block Croxagore. All right, so the next bit is the player that scored the most touchdowns so far. Right now leading is Balfour for the Coldor Rockhounds with 4 touchdowns. There's 2 players following that, each with 3 touchdowns apiece, which is Suts, which is the Goblin on the Chaos Pact, and then Baby, which is a Skink for the Stegodon Stampeders. Individual completions, right now it's 5 for Griffin Wolfborn, the High Elf Thrower. So currently Griffin has 12 completions throughout both Season 3 and 3.2, but he's only got 5 in these first 4 games. And then there's a 4-way tie for 2 apiece for some of the other teams. Like I said, no interceptions yet this year. As far as casualties go, Skull Slugga has 4 total casualties, leads the league right now. He is a Black Orc blocker for the Red Skulls, and he has caused 5 casualties and had 2 MVPs, and he's a Mighty Blow block Black Orc. Shithammer, Rip Fist, and Little Pity Scent kind of following close in behind. Most badly hurts caused is Skull Slugga with 3. Most significant injuries by a single player, there is a slew. 15-way tie with 1 apiece. And then most kills, there is a 3-way tie with 1 apiece for Little Pity Scent, Bone Cruncha, and Modelo. Each have 1 kill. Now the player that has the most MVPs so far is Durkis Haze Eyes with the Night Stalkers, and Tiberius Pendragon III for the Lizardmen Stampeders. And so far the player that is the overall, we'll say, most valuable player, or has the most star player points gained so far, is Durkis Haze Eyes with 18 star player points for the Night Stalkers. Durkis is a lineman that has block and plus movement, but he's gotten 3 MVPs throughout this whole year. So he hasn't actually done a lot aside from a completion and a casualty as far as actually performing on the field, but he seems to be voted by the fans to take home the MVP after all of these games. So Falling really close behind with 17 is Tiberius Pendragon III. Tiberius is a Saurus with Block Mighty Blow, which has caused 1 casualty and also had 3 MVPs. So there is the players right there. I guess I really want to talk about, I don't know if all the stars are being put in correctly yet, but right now the only star to actually gaining star player points that have played is Bomber Dribble Shot, which played in a game with, looks like he actually got the points in the Wreckers versus the Red Skulls match this year. So, all right, so I just want to talk about the upcoming matches coming up for this coming week. So week 5, like I said, there's 3 weeks left. Week 5 coming up is the Bullfrogs against the Renegades. I'm going to guess that one's going to be a 1-1 tie. I know the Bullfrogs are really hurt right now, and obviously if the Chaos Pack can get ahead with some of those injuries, things fall off really quickly for the Slan. I do have some ways as the Slan to deal with some of the block dodge and things that the Renegades ball carriers have with the Dark Elf and the Goblin ball runners. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of at least stall out some of the Chaos Pact, or maybe I can get a little ahead in some of those injuries in order to maybe get the numbers up. So probably the game of the week, the 2 top teams right now in the league will face off this Saturday, I think at 2 o'clock at the Old Salem Brewery, is the Coldor Rockhounds and the Red Skulls. I think that it's really hard to say who will win this match. I think that maybe the best thing for the Rockhounds to maybe take is probably a chainsaw and a bribe. And that'll allow that chainsaw to maybe get ahead on some of these injuries over the Red Skulls and maybe take out some of these Mighty Blow players that exist on the Red Skulls, and give the Rockhounds a chance to slowly move the ball down and take control. And then obviously the bribe would be able to keep the chainsaw going for much longer for another drive. The Red Skulls can probably take this if they're one obviously faster, so if they can get a few injuries on the Rockhounds, they're probably going to take this one. I'm going to guess that one's going to end up being 2-1, or maybe even 1-0, with the Red Skulls taking that one. But it'll be close. It comes down to really the injuries and what happens there, and what inducements Mark ends up taking to try and even out that team value. I mean, Wizards typically aren't the best choice for slow teams because they can't really take advantage of it. Obviously, the Fireball is probably not going to hurt the Armor 9. But getting +3 to armor breaks with the chainsaw, being able to foul with him to get the +3 and try and get those players stunned, knocked out, off the field, and getting the numbers up, that's going to be what kind of probably turns the difference for the Rockhounds. So next is the 2 players that are at the bottom of the standings right now, which is the Defilers of Doom and the Stegadon Stampeders. The Defilers of Doom have just had a really hard time getting going this season, getting SPP generated, so they're falling behind really quickly. Eric Pidcock's been coaching the Lizardmen really well. He's a really great coach, and so I look for him. He's only come away with a bunch of ties. But he's been in the position to win a lot of the games that he's been playing. So I'm going to say that he's probably going to take this one 2-0 over Travis. And then lastly for this week is an elf on elf match, which is the Night Stalkers and the Phoenixes. Tom's a really experienced Dark Elf player. He's got a really great team with a lot of block and dodge. As far as Doug's team goes, he's got a lot of block. It looks like he's got a guy that he needs to level up. But I think a lot of that's going to be shutting down some of the passing game that the High Elves go into. But I think that probably there's not going to be enough for the Phoenixes to stop the Night Stalkers. I mean, they're both armor 8. The Night Stalkers have quite a bit more block and dodge, as you can see. They got frenzy players that control the sidelines, so the Elves aren't going to be able to run those. They do have one Witch missing next game and a lineman. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're just going to be playing with 11 players. So if they get down in players, it might be rough for them. But we'll see how that goes. I'm going to guess that Tom's going to take that one 3-1 is what I'm actually going to put that one up as. I think it's going to be a really chaotic and fast-scoring game. For the rest of the season, I'm not going to go through those a whole bunch. I'll just pick out some of the matchups that I think are going to be pretty good. I think the Rockhounds and the Renegades is probably the feature matchup of Week 6. That'll be a really bashy match, and we'll have to see if kind of who breaks whose armor. Maybe the three big guys on the Chaos Pack are able to get through, especially because two of them have block. So hopefully that's able to get over top, and then maybe the Mighty Blow can hurt some of the Rockhounds. And then the very last season, probably I'm looking at maybe the best matchup there may even be the Rockhounds against the Slan, against the Croaknoke Bullfrogs. At that point, hopefully the Slan have had some time to recover from some of the injuries. They'll have a previous soft week against some Elves. And as always, playing Mark's pretty fun. We have a pretty good time, and so it's usually a pretty close match. And so that'll be a good one, and hopefully I'll end up leaping and running over a lot of his players. But, I rely a lot on dodge for my team, and of course, as Dwarves, he's got a lot of tackle. So that's probably going to be a big deciding point on what ends up happening in that match there. So that's really it for this update for now. Everybody can go ahead and schedule your Week 5 match, and let's try and finish this season strong. We'll move into the playoffs, and then we'll have to decide what we want to do as far as a sevens type league, whether we want to do street ball, whether we want to do traditional sevens, and start to generate some new players for the new season, and whether that's a traditional season like this, or by the time we kick off again, it may even be the new Blood Bowl 3 second season that's come out by then. So that's kind of your update for now. If there is any questions you guys have for me or anything else you want to see, let me know. But everybody have a good rest of the week. Good luck in the rest of your matches, and have a good night.